guys, it's Jackie and I'm back today with a bookish video. I've been reading a lot of graphic novels and manga lately, and so I kind of just wanted to make like a video about all of the ones that I've been keeping on my book cart and my bookshelf of the ones that I want to get to first. And I just know I haven't talked a lot about like manga and graphic novels, but I actually read them quite heavily, especially because I haven't been getting through as many traditional novels in the last while, and I've been getting through a lot of graphic novels as I watch lots of TV and play lots of video games as well. But yeah, I think we will just get into it this morning. So first up, I've got Love on the Other Side. It's a short story collection here. So it's by the author Nagabe, I think I'm saying that right. He also wrote The Girl on the Other Side. I'm not sure if maybe this is a companion. So basically it's got some fantasy elements and it's just really short, independent stories about love between like a fantasy creature and then like a person is what I've picked up on. And it talks about kind of like little unconventional or non-romantic types of love, and so I find it a little bit eerie. So if you've read Girl on the Other Side, I have already started this one, and so far I have been quite enjoying it. Some of them creep me out a little bit, as I said, and some of them I feel almost like sad, like they kind of tug on your heartstrings. So yeah, I kind of think that this author is kind of perfect for this time of year around Halloween and October, because they kind of do have like a creepy sort of atmosphere. And this is also just a quick way to get through some little short stories too, which is always nice. Next up, I think I'm gonna do most of my manga I've got on my TBR here and then ease into the other graphic novels as they go through the video. But next up, I've got Beyond the Clouds, The Girl Who Fell from the Sky. About this boy named Theo, and so basically he works on these machines underground, and he's kind of given up on his dreams and stuff like that as he just works on these mechanical things. So I don't know if it maybe has like a steampunk type of vibe. That's what it looks like on the inside. It's quite pretty. And then he meets this girl who has broken wings, and so since he's like super mechanically inclined, he helps her to fix his wings. And then he decides he's going to enlist on a quest to help her find her way home. So I believe this one is still ongoing. I've just got 1 and 2 here and I haven't quite started it yet. It starts off talking about how Theo loves to read and loves his books and wishes he could go on an adventure like his books, but never has had the opportunity. And so I guess maybe when he meets this girl with the broken wings, perhaps that's when it all starts. Okay, so next manga I've got here is called Magus of the Library. We're not done with protagonist named Theo because this follows our main character Theo, who lives in a small village where he lives in poverty. And so as far as I understand, he endures a lot of prejudice and hate from the people around him because he's got pointed ears. Not allowed as a result of that to visit the village library, and so he has dreams of going to this place, Afterzak I think it's called, which is the city of books. So he has dreams of going to this place, and so right off the bat I think that people who enjoyed Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor this would probably be a good gateway into manga if they haven't picked it up before. He meets a Kafna is what it's called, which is a librarian who can apparently make his dreams come true and show him to the city of books. This sounds perfect because I myself am a librarian, and so I love reading about librarians, and I also adore classic fantasy elements in graphic novels and manga, so I think this might be something that I really enjoy as long as I get along with the characters and all of that. So when I look at it, I see right away the characters look super cute, and I can see that we're in like a little village. So yeah, I think this one will be quite fun. I believe that this is ongoing. I've got like the first 3 here I think I have. Oh, the next one I have, I've talked about in other videos. I've got Otherworldly, Azakaya Nobu, which is about this sort of magical restaurant that serves like mysterious but delicious Japanese food in this medieval sort of fantasy German town. This is number 2 that I've got on my TBR here because I've already read number 1. And so basically these German soldiers find this restaurant and they kind of fall in love with the staff there, and the staff know exactly like what food and what drinks to get them to try, and whatever they eat at this restaurant like cures them of whatever like mental ailments that they might have. And so you learn a little bit about each character that comes to this restaurant and their backstory and how the Japanese food here like cures it for them, like cures whatever issues they're having. So yeah, this is it's super cute. It's got like that, like I said, that medieval fantasy feel that is kind of like a feature of the manga that I have on my TBR. So yeah, I'll show you inside the jacket here. The characters are super cute, and I just like find myself so hungry after I finish reading this. So, I mean, but who can blame me? So next up, I've got volume 8 of Delicious in Dungeons. So I've read the first 7 volumes of this one already. So like I've already been talking about, this has some classic fantasy elements to it as well. So we follow this group of like humans and other like fantasy races who are navigating through a dungeon. So they're on this daunting mission to get to the heart of the dungeon, and they've got like these quests. And basically what happens in the beginning of the series is that they lose all of their like resources, so they've got to make food out of the monsters that they fight and kill. This chapter has it's like about what food that they're making and like what qualities it has, like if it's rich in fiber or like how much energy it'll give them. We encounter elves and dwarves in our group here, and then we see them have to battle other fantasy races and like see who wins, and some parts are a little bit creepy. I find these characters in this one like particularly cute and endearing, and I find this reminds me of the Netflix original series The Dragon Prince. The characters in this, some of them at least, remind me of the characters in that, so it's kind of a fun series to read if you have watched The Dragon Prince or if you're currently watching it. Here's a look inside. This is definitely one of my favorite manga series that I've read, so yeah. And the other thing about this one is it's always introducing new characters. Like you're always meeting and falling in love with new characters and learning about them and what's driven them to the dungeon. So yeah, so I'm gonna break up the manga binge here for a minute and talk about Our Friend Hedgehog, the story of us. So this book is about our main character Hedgehog, who loses her best friend Muddy after a storm. And so Hedgehog decides to like go on this quest to find her best friend Muddy. And along the way, she's meeting all these different characters who decide they're gonna help her on her quest. So this is actually a children's chapter book for younger children. Like if you look inside, you'll see it's very heavily illustrated with little words. It kind of really tugs on your heartstrings. It's a very soft story. It's not action-packed. It's like you read the whole thing in not very much time. It's perfect for people who love like Winnie the Pooh. It's definitely down that alley there. So next up here, I've got Fox and Rabbit by Beth Ferry. And so this little bubble on the front says, "This book will be your new best friend." I have not opened up this book at all. I have just purchased this for the library. I develop our graphic novel collections, and so I've just grabbed this one for the children's graphic novels. And so apparently it follows our main characters Fox and Rabbit, who are like complete opposites. But we follow them as they encounter like their new favorite things and experience new things together with their like opposite personalities. And so they've got to like overcome their fears together, and as you can see, it's very lots of dialogue and lots of colorful pictures. I think it like kind of focuses in, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it focuses in on these two kind of overcoming their fears together as they experience new things together. The thing that I love about children's graphic novels is that they're like a wholesome or cute cartoon like in a book, and it's just perfect to get those kids who don't think that they like reading to easily like get into reading. I mean, graphic novels are reading too, and they're a great way to experience a story. And so I just find sometimes I love to have like a little magical lighthearted story that will take me a few minutes to read. And I also just am a sucker for like woodland animal stories like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. So next up we've got Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu. And so this is kind of perfect for October, but it follows our main character Nova, who knows like so much about witchcraft and magic. And she works in her grandma's bookshop, and so she tries to help get spell books and magic books into the hands of people. And then she also likes to investigate like supernatural events that happened around her town. One day she heads into the woods because she hears that there's something going on there. So she heads into the woods and sees her childhood crush fighting something super like paranormal and crazy. So it seems like a super fun fantasy graphic novel, kind of like darkly illustrated. It seems perfect for Halloween if you want that light, atmospheric, but spooky fantasy vibe. If you're someone like me who doesn't really watch scary stuff but still likes to have that like light-hearted, spooky atmosphere. So this is gorgeously illustrated. So this one has been put into the YA section. So I think it's probably for a bit of an older audience, maybe not really kids exactly. So next up, I've got A Gift for Ghost, and I'll pop up a picture right here because I don't have it with me at the moment. It's on the way for me. And so this is a graphic novel that follows two parallel stories. It follows our one main character in the 1850s who is a young aristocrat, and she loves to write horror fiction, and that's what she's interested in over like making a suitable marriage match. And at the same time, we're getting to know her. We're following three teenage girls in 2016 who want to start a punk band but like lack talent. And then mysterious things start to happen and these girls realize that they're being haunted by something that happened 160 years prior to their time. It's a perfect read for this time of year. It's got that spooky atmospheric vibe. Also, I just love getting to know characters. I love parallel stories and different point of views. I've heard that it's a bit strange, so I don't know if it'll be exactly what I'm expecting, but I'm still excited to read it. When I think of A Gift for a Ghost, I think of like if you're into video games, if you're playing like Spiritfarer or Hollow Knight or even Luigi's Mansion, this sort of thing like tying into that sort of experience as well. So next up, I've got Stranger Planet by Nathan Pyle, and so this is the sequel to Strange Planet. And so if you follow him on Instagram, then you know. I mean, if you know, you know. And so they're kind of like hilarious and really literal and blunt descriptions of things in everyday life. So I highly encourage you to check out Nathan's Instagram, or go ahead and find this at the library because it makes me laugh so hard. I just have that really like dry and literal sense of humor, and so this is like perfect for me. So like you have to experience it for yourself and can't like read it because then it takes away the funniness, but you get the idea. So next up, I've just purchased this for the library, and I kind of purchased it for myself and also because I thought other people would get a kick out of it, especially as adults, especially young adults in my community get more into graphic novels. So it's Our Super Adventurous, Press Start to Begin. So this is by Sarah Grayley, and it is based off her web comic, which I haven't read, but I saw this in like an upcoming graphic novels catalog and thought it looked super cute. Huffington Post says it's delightfully weird. So it's about like the little quirky and funny parts of having a relationship. So apparently you're gonna find like lots of relatable and hilarious little things, like all the weird things about relationships, all the cute things, all the funny things. So yeah, I just like to read like little stories of everyday life in graphic novel form. I think it's super fun. It's also fun how it's like short. It's like a similar size to Stranger Planet here. So next up we have curio, which is bed and breakfast for spirits. And so this follows our main character, Aoi, I think I said that right, who shares her grandfather's ability to see spirits. And so her grandfather had huge debts to these spirits apparently, and so she is kidnapped and taken to Kakiro, the spirit world, where she has to marry the head of an inn that her grandfather had destroyed or get eaten by Ayakashi, which is what I'm assuming is like a type of spirit. But she decides she doesn't want to get pushed around and she's gonna fix all the bad vibes on her own terms. And so she decides she's gonna try and get a job in the inn to pay off her grandfather's debts. So apparently this will prove difficult, surprisingly. And so it's another kind of like lighthearted, ghosty, fantasy-themed graphic novel here. It looks super fun. And so yeah, this one's a little bit smaller. Like I found with, like this is more of like a classic manga size. I found with Love on the Other Side and Beyond the Clouds, they're a bit like bigger and floppier and more comfortable to read. So yeah, guys, these are all the graphic novels I've been reading. I will probably do like a manga graphic novel reading vlog eventually, but let me know what manga or graphic novels you've been reading or that you think I should read. I've also got some spooky ones in the back of my mind here that I'm thinking of that I typically read around this season that I haven't talked about here today. So if you're interested in those recommendations, just let me know. There's tons of good YouTube videos about different manga and graphic novels you can read. The ones that I like to pull are generally right down the alley of people who love to read like heavy fantasy novels or have in the past read like YA fantasy. But these are without like all the annoying angst and are just, for the most part, just really fun and enjoyable. I also love to read manga that's like reminiscent of Studio Ghibli, or like graphic novels that have beautiful illustrations and all of that. So let me know what your favorite graphic novels are. Like I said, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more bookish videos. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of TV, a lot of K-drama and anime lately, and so if you've got any recommendations for those, I'm happy to hear them too. So I hope you guys have a great spooky season. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!